Thanks for tuning in. One of your hosts, EL Discipline.
Co-host to Hey Sotomayor. No relation to Sonia Sotomayor.
Season 1, Episode 1.
Quarantine edition.
I mean, we have a lot to talk about, won't we?
We do. We got to what does submission mean to you? There are switches.
Mm-hmm.
Happy wife, happy life versus happy house, happy spouse. Different levels of submission and submissives.
By the way, sorry to cut you off. This is a after dark, adult only conversation. This is going to be grit. It's going to be uncut. It's going to be no filter, no holds barred.
So uncensored.
Completely uncensored.
Yeah, they have to.
Don't want to miss this. We'll be right back.
Get the kids to bed.
And we're back. So what are the topics we have today? Because we have some intriguing topics.
We do. We need to finish with, should women be more submissive to their men/husband?
Okay, so here's the thing, right? We all know what submission means. We all know what submissive means. We all have Google. We all have Safari. I mean, we could look it up. But at the same time, we could give those general definitions as their own personal definition. So what is your personal definition? And then I'm going to give you mine.
Okay. My definition of submission is allowing myself to lower my walls for someone so that I can cater to them. Which is, I know it's going to be way different than yours, but
why is
that is
because of the lifestyle.
Yes, well, I didn't want to bring it right up because that's gonna, because of the books, exactly.
Because of what I put on social media. I mean, we could get that. We could get to that later, maybe down the line, couple of episodes, whatever it is.
Definitely.
But
that definitely has to get touched upon because everybody's that's watching is going to be like, what? Like finishing is probably very different.
I like your definition, but my definition 100% is a lot different because, like you mentioned the lifestyle I live, that most of my followers, fans of EL Discipline books, if you Google EL Discipline, you'll find all my works are familiar with. So what I believe submission is it's respect, it's obedience, it's loyalty, it's trust, it's honor, adoration, it's appreciation, is worship.
I could kind of hear and screaming at the screen right now, like hold up. What do you mean obedience? What's that have to do with anything? Obedience? Like, you're not my daddy. Yeah. You're not my father. So can in your definition of submission, and I know it's because you're an alpha male. These are terms that we got to get them used to, and eventually you're going to talk about it. But can men have that type of adoration, that type of worship and that's okay? Okay, so submission can be, right. I was going to say bisexual, but
the reason I say that I agreed, I said women should be more submissive to their men is because I believe women choose at the end of the day. That's why.
I agree.
Women choose at the end of the day. And, there's going to be a plethora of people like, oh, explain. So at the end of the day, like the life I live is a power exchange relationship. But it could be a little bit similar to traditional, but not entirety. So this is the example. of the.
It's more intense.
Yeah, but this is the example where women choose. I meet a woman at a venue. I meet a woman at a bookstore, wherever it is, grocery store, gas station, right?
Mm-hmm.
I walk up to her, I'm attracted to her physically, I want to get to know you. We connect, let me get your number. She chooses. At the end of the day, she could say, fuck you, asshole, like I'm out, or I got a man, whatever it is. She could even lie and say she has a man. At the end of the day, she's choosing. She's choosing to give you that number. You guys connect, y'all text, y'all talk. Now, I want to take you out. She's still choosing. She's allowing you to court her. So now the relationship starts building, in all capacities. And now you guys are in a relationship to the point where it wants to become physical. She's still choosing.
He continue to choose as well. He's still choosing to court her. He's still choosing to go after her.
Of course, but my argument is women have the power. I mean, he's not getting to that level if she doesn't give him the number in the beginning. If she's not accepting his proposals on going to dinner or going out to see a film or going out to the shooting range, whatever type of dating, atmosphere.
Right.
She's choosing to allow him to court her.
Okay.
Therefore, she's choosing the man that she wants to eventually lead her. So if you're choosing a man, right? If you're choosing a man, then that means that you're saying that I'm giving you my mind, body, and my soul to lead. Now, all of a sudden, when shit hits the fan, and I'm not saying all women are like this, but it's like, oh, niggas ain't shit, or he's a fuck boy, or this, that, and it's, she's being disrespectful, she's doing this. At the end of the day, she chose him. If he's a bum, she chose that bum.
Okay,
even if she didn't see the signs in the beginning.
Right. Well, that's what I was going to say. Couldn't he have been just acting like the type of man that she was interested in, just to get, in her pants or whatever it is? Because I mean, there are men that do that. There are men out there that claim to be one thing, and then once they get what they're after, they either leave or they change, altogether. They've made movies about stuff like this too. Single white female.
You have all different types of women out there. And the thing is, women need to be more selective, like they are with their Fashion Nova dresses and their selfies. You need to be more selective. The thing is, there's a plethora of different type of women who like different type of things. There are actually women out there who love love. They don't love men, but they love love. They want to be in love. They want to be in love so bad that instead of shooting your shot first at the man that you truly want, you perhaps give your attention to the man that's giving you the most attention. You mean you kind of settle for that because you're in love with love. And I'm not saying all women are like that. Could be 2% that are in love with love. So now they get in these relationships. They're ignoring the red flags now because perhaps they've reached that level of in physical intimacy. Because let's be clear, not all intimacy is physical. That's why I say physical intimacy. They get to a physical intimacy, they fuck.
I was going to say physical intimacy doesn't necessarily mean
Fucking.
sexual. It could
Yeah.
be hugging. It could be holding hands and stuff. Not just fucking.
Laughing, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Still courting, doing the shit that you was doing when y'all first got together.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Do you think somebody can be too submissive, like too submissive to a fault? Like it's all. Do you think a woman can be so submissive that you want to slap her and be like, "Wake up a little bit"? Like, come on,
Me
or no?
personally, no, because of the life I live. But perhaps another man who lives a traditional lifestyle, normalcy, yeah, I could see that. I could see
Really?
I could see a little bit of too much adoration, too much appreciation. It could be
For the
overwhelming.
man to take, the man will be overwhelmed by
It
it.
could be overwhelming by it because men are, and this is true, men are born hunters. Men
Mm.
are born natural hunters. So, in a way, subconsciously, men love the chase. A woman that's constantly chasing him could be a turnoff. Not a turnoff for me if I'm into you.
So a woman that's chasing is that's a submissive characteristic?
No.
No, right?
Mm-mm.
That I was gonna, that's more an alpha
That's more
characteristic.
of an alpha characteristic.
So you're saying that for a regular man that isn't used to having all that adoration and all that, that could be almost like stalkerish?
Yeah. If you're not into her, you know what I mean?
Mm,
Like me, I love a woman to be obsessed with me, but not to the point where it's like, oh, who's that chick commenting on your posts? And it's crazy. We go out, and it's like, yo, that chick looked at you. You know her, you fucked her, like crazy like that. Like,
that
no,
is crazy.
you could be obsessed with someone to a point of, you want to shower them with love, with appreciation, perhaps gifts. You know what I mean? That's maybe an extreme. You know what I mean? But that sense, that aspect,
Mm.
you know what I mean?
I mean, that makes sense. It makes sense when you explain it like that, because a regular, let's say a 20-year-old who is, knows that he likes to take control in certain aspects, but doesn't yet know about, that type of lifestyle, and he's now getting into, with a girl who's very submissive, who and is showering him with all types of attention and all that. He might not know. He might think, okay, she's like a stage 5 clinger. Just
Mhm.
I want to be with you all the time. So I like the way that you explained that.
Yeah,
Um,
and that's the thing too. Like, people should know themselves. You know what I mean? Like, self
yeah,
awareness is
but
very important. Women,
that takes
all women are
time.
submissive. All women are submissive.
I agree with that. But I think, and again, this is from comments that women have shared with me. They have no problems being submissive to the right type of man, to somebody who brings it out in them. And I could totally agree with that, because as a woman, I know that I'm submissive. That's how I am. And it's almost like I know that you've said, you know, like when women say it takes a certain man. Yeah, I have been, with men, and I always almost automatically start out submissive.
It's
Once
just
they
what
do something,
it's
it's
in
in
your
me.
nature. It's in you.
Right. Once they do something, it's like, no. And sometimes I know you said that women like to push boundaries, right? Like they like to test how far they can
Mhm.
go with something.
Okay.
And I think that we do that, especially a submissive woman will test boundaries to see, okay, can he
Handle me.
handle me? Because, if that first guy couldn't handle me, that second guy couldn't handle me. So now if this third guy can handle me, and put me in my place, then I'm going to be really submissive. You
I
know what I mean?
mean,
Especially if
that
I'm
could
interested.
that could also be alpha submissive, like a switch. You know what I mean? Somebody that is like both dominant and submissive. Somebody that plays both roles.
I can play both roles, but not in my personal relationship. Like I don't want to be alpha to my mate. I don't want that.
Mm,
I don't want to think, how am I going to protect him?
mm.
I shouldn't have to think like that. I shouldn't have to think, how am I going to protect him? No, that's your job. You protect me.
Like, okay, like you and I have a business relationship. It's 50-50. And like, it's like, there's sometimes like expenses and stuff like that. Like, I just want to do it by myself. And then you're like, no, you know what I mean? So it's hard for me because I'm just naturally dominant. Like, I'm not dominant submissive. So I'm just naturally just proactive. And I just want to, you know what I mean? And I just have to bring myself back because we're in a partnership. Like, we're in a business partnership. So
Mm.
it's 50-50. But in my relationships, I'm more that way that I'm explaining where
Take
it
charge.
yeah, exactly. So with going back to when you're saying that, oh, the woman is with the man and she could be naturally submissive and he does something and then that submission is gone. Okay, she still chose him. Now here's the
Yeah.
thing. If you want to make the relationship work, I feel, then keep building him up. Not building a man, but keep building him up. Like, I'm talking about
So be
improve.
supportive.
Yeah, motivate him, inspire him, give him, you know, don't give him, like, be straightforward on what you want.
Say what's
Like,
on your mind.
that's your man. That's not a stranger. So for you to
Mm.
be, so for you to be, keeping these feelings repressed, like these repressed feelings, um, these desires, to yourself or what you really want in the relationship, like that's how all the issues start. Like these are like a domino effect. I mean, it's little by little, and it comes into a big eruption. You
So
know,
let me ask you a question. I don't mean to cut you off, but so you're saying that they should both communicate with each other, right? They should. If the man is having, if the man in the relationship is having an issue with his woman, he should say something as well. Not drop hints, but verbalize what the problem is, right?
100%. But if the woman is, if you, okay, let's say, for example, let's say the scenario, a male works, he makes like 7 figures a year, and he doesn't want his woman to work.
Okay.
So, she doesn't work. Let's also say that she doesn't even take care of the house. Maybe just when she wants to, right?
Oh, that's terrible.
And she's just waiting for him to come home and fuck her and give her attention and all this other stuff, right?
Hmm.
And he comes home, and when he's not in the mood because he's had a tough time at work
Tired.
or whatever, she's nagging. She's doing this, she's doing that, she's saying this, she's saying that, she's complaining. And it's like by her doing that, it's closing the door to having that open door type of
Lines of communication.
communication. You know what I mean? Like, if there's a lot of pressure on a man to provide, like this goes back to ancestry. You know what I mean? This goes back to cavemen, ancient Egyptians. There's a lot of pressure for a man to provide. So you don't know how his day was. You don't know what he's going through. You don't know what he's going through in the world. That you know,
I mean, like you said, if they're a team almost, he should be telling her how his day is going and what's upsetting him at work and all that stuff. No.
yeah, but it should be able to be reciprocated. You understand? Like, if he wants to talk about his work, and this is a hypothetical scenario, if he wants to talk about his work and she's not into that, or you know, vice versa, that's the issue. I mean, it
Mm.
starts with the little things. It starts with the little things. Do women need to be more submissive to their men? Do wives need to be more submissive to their husbands? 100%. Because when shit hits the fan, when most women get angry, and I'm not gonna say all women, that's why I'm saying most. You know what I mean? They lash out. They lash out. They may not even articulate it to their significant other. They call their girlfriends. They call their girlfriends and they start yapping. You know what I mean? And that's not being submissive. That's actually being disloyal.
By
Like
them,
these are solely my opinions.
they're being disloyal by talking shit about their man to their
Behind his
friends.
back. Behind his back.
I mean, but
emasculating him in public, emasculating him in front of other friends, her friends.
Yeah, but that's you're speaking on a specific type of woman, and which that also goes back to I know you said that women choose at the end of the day, but in this scenario, you can even actually say, well, he chose that woman. You know what I mean? Like he knew kind of what he was getting into.
Women choose, men earn.
So he hasn't earned her submission yet?
No, I'm not saying he didn't earn her submission because they're in a relationship. They had sex.
And so they had sex. What does that mean? She automatically submitted to him?
Mm-hmm. She submitted at least her body.
But that could just be...
She submitted at least her body.
That could just be a sexual submission, right?
Yeah, but I believe when a woman gives her trust to a man, she gives her mind, body, and soul versus a man giving her his trust to a woman. He's not giving the entirety of him. He may not give his body to the woman. He may give his heart, but he may not give his mind. You mean like myself? I think about like 4,000 things at a time. And I'm just exaggerating. It's not really in a human mind to, really think about 4,000 things. But I'm thinking about...
But you do... Yeah, you're always going. That's true.
Yeah, so it's like, even though like we could even say the Scorpio thing and the sex sign and all that, sex is the last thing on my mind. I mean, on a daily basis, like I have goals, dreams, aspirations. So it's like alpha males, real alpha males, they want to provide. That's their number one concern. Providing for my family, providing for my future, solidifying something, whether it's a legacy. That's their number one thing. They're not chasing pussy. That's true. They're not, they're chasing loyalty over pussy. You know what I mean? They're chasing royalty.
Substance. Right. Yeah. They want substance.
Exactly. So, like, sometimes women don't understand that. So now you're with an alpha male who's the breadwinner in the household. You're not working. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know how he's feeling. You know what I mean? It's okay. It's okay to bring him his plate. It's okay to cook for him. It's okay to clean and do all this other stuff. You know what I mean? I see that more women are becoming followers of other women. And it's becoming a trend of like, oh, this independence and this feminism. And, maybe that's another topic of an episode. Yeah. But that's becoming like a trend and women are following each other. Women are followers at the end of the day. All women are followers.
Okay. So
about 2% who are alpha, who don't run in a pack. 2%. And I can make those percentages up.
Okay, so if the man is paying for everything, right, and she's barely cleaning, doesn't cook, or exactly how you said, and all she does is hound him about sex and stuff, and he's the one that's paying the majority of the bills and all that, does that give him? Dang it! That's
authority.
for another. No, that's for a whole different topic. Never mind. We cannot bring that up. You know what I can bring up? What do you think about happy wife, happy life versus happy spouse, happy house? I've
Happy
heard.
spouse, happy house. I don't listen.
How about happy
There's a
husband?
plethora of beta males out there who believe that mantra.
Mm-hmm.
Happy wife, happy life. It's like as soon as you get on your knee, as soon as you get on that one knee and you give her that ring, your life is over. No, your life doesn't have to be over.
It should be like just
Like
beginning.
I've met men when I used to do door to door, right? Like I used to do door to door. I've worked a lot of different jobs, right? When I used to do door to door, like, and I was trying to sell something to me. He's like, "Oh, I gotta talk to my partner." I get that. I love that. But he was saying to me, "I don't know if I want to buy in. See, I make all the money, but she's the boss."
That you
And
didn't like.
yeah, because he probably has the mentality, happy wife, happy life. And I think that's a beta mentality because
I
you
wonder if
are
that's really
on a
real.
way suppressing your happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And men that think like that are more on some this is the type of shit they think about. If I do this to her or I give this to her, she won't yap yap yap. She won't nag me and all this
Yeah,
type of
but
shit.
that's true for how long? That's true for how long? How long will she not nag you for? Until the ride home from the store? You know what I mean?
She's gonna nag you as much as you allow her to nag you. You know what I mean? Like
That's true.
if you the man of the household and she's making you the man of the household, be the man of the household. I feel like too many men are afraid to be men, and there's a lack of masculinity out there because they're afraid of going to jail. They're afraid of the women calling the cops. Oh, he got into an argument with me. He did this. He did. A lot of men seeing different things happening in society, and they're afraid. I mean, that could be.
I mean, the whole scared about going to jail because the woman's gonna lie. You mean? Not because he's gonna beat her ass.
No, not because you're gonna beat her ass, but because
Because she could lie.
Yeah, but even if she's not lying, a cop comes in or whatever it is, you're standing in front of a judge. Majority of the time, they're going to take the female's word over yours, unless they find some conclusive evidence.
Like evidence. Now, what are the different levels of submission? Like, what's that mean?
Different levels of submission. You have mind, you have body, and you have soul. You have sexual.
Oh, okay.
You have sexual subs, right? You have psychological ones. You know what I mean? And all of these things are embedded in women. Because you have women who fall in love with men for different things. You could be the ugliest guy in the world. I promise you, if you have a little bit of ambition, if you are hardworking, if you dress nice, you know what I mean? If you are
funny. I've seen some funny guys, yeah.
You know what I mean? You gain a little bit of points. Now you start to look a little attractive to her. You know what I mean? Like, and those we could talk about in a later episode. Sapiosexuals. Sapiosexuals are more emotional. They're more about intelligence.
Right. They need to be mentally stimulated first.
They're more yes. They're more about intelligence. They're more about that connection. You know what I mean? Like money doesn't impress them. Tattoos, nice muscles, handsome, nice smile. That doesn't impress them. I mean, it's a bonus, but it doesn't impress them.
Now, do you feel like true submissive women, are they like a specific type? Or like you could have true submissive women come from like all walks of life. It doesn't really matter.
true submissive women are all different types. There's all different
Still
types of
different
women, so
types.
there's all different types of subs. You know what I mean? You have, and this is jumping into the BDSM lifestyle, and I don't really want to get into it because it's
Yeah,
too
yeah. No,
much.
you're right.
It's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
be
yeah.
too much explanation terms. Like if they want to jump, be steps ahead, they should get the first book, The Seduction
Yeah,
of Discipline. You know what I mean? Like they
definitely.
should get that first book because it's so informative. Like I talk about all this, the different
Yeah.
subs, the different women, the different, you know,
And the vocabulary, which is totally different.
yeah, the different terms, the
Yeah.
definitions.
That's
You
a
know,
very important book to have, I feel, for
yeah,
people who
whether
know
you're into
nothing about it. Yeah,
whether you're into the life or not, you know what I mean.
yeah.
It's a good.
It's always good to know about things, different things. Now, I know you said that for you, submission is, adoration, being honest, speaking your mind and all that stuff. If someone withholds information to spare somebody's feelings, is that lying or is that protecting? That's a white lie. Is that okay? Is that okay, or is it for you? A lie is a lie is a
Every
lie. It doesn't matter.
everybody could think how they want with this one. It's
Okay.
tricky, but for me, it's not a lie at all because you're not even articulating anything. You're just
Just so
withholding
because you're not saying
information,
anything.
so you're being secretive, and
Okay.
that's worse. That's worse than a lie. That's like a snake. It's
Being
like somebody that's
deceitful.
unpredictable. Yeah,
Mm.
that's worse,
So
and
withholding
that's not
information is
being.
worse than lying.
Yeah, that's not being submissive at all. Because if you're a female, and women love honesty more than they love Fashion Nova dresses, right? I believe women love honesty and trust more than anything. If you're saying that you're a woman and you're like, be honest with me, whether it hurts me or not, and you're not doing the same thing, or perhaps you're not lying because you're not articulating, but you're withholding information. You're being sneaky. You know what I mean? You're kind of a hypocrite.
For not being honest and saying what you
Yeah,
have to
there's a
say.
lot of double standards when it comes to women.
Like what?
I'm the voice of the alpha males. So, you know what I mean? Like, I feel that women may say, well, men need to be more dominant. And if men are more dominant, then I'll be more um
Submissive.
submissive. No, because reality is a man can't go in public and be like, yo, bitch, get over here. I want you. Knock you over the head with a club and put you over their shoulder like back in the Vikings and caveman era and say,
I mean, I sure hope not.
I want her and I'm gonna, get that. No, it has to be invited. I mean it has to be an invitation.
But an invitation can be a look. An invitation
Mm,
can be, her coming up to you and, oh, how you doing? I have a hand on your shoulder. That's an invitation.
I don't agree with it 100%.
It has to be
I
more of
don't believe I don't agree with it 100% because at the end of the day, like a girl could give you a look that she's interested, but yet again, she could be a flirt. She could have a whole husband at home, and she could just be, oh, I just thought you was attractive. I'm not trying to get your number. I'm not trying to dance with you. I'm not, you know what I mean? You know what I
That's
mean? So
true.
it's not really an invitation
So she has
until
to actually.
she articulates that.
Hmm. So, do you think it's okay? Obviously, you think it's good for a woman to spoil her man because that's being submissive, right? That's
100%.
adoration and all that stuff. Is there a right for the man to spoil the woman too?
100%. But I feel like the biggest misconception in a relationship is that the man should do all the spoiling. The man should pay for
Everything, like
everything,
the date and all that stuff. I don't
everything,
agree with that either.
and all that.
I mean, I think if a woman expects that, that's just, that says a lot about her character. I
Like
wouldn't expect
I'm the
a
type of
man to pay for everything.
I'm the type of man, right? I'm the type of dom. I'm the type of dom that, like, either I'm paying for the whole thing or you paying for the whole thing. We're not going 50-50.
Really?
Like, if this is a business relationship, if this is something like, oh, I just started dating you, we didn't have sex yet, like, you know what I mean? We ain't getting really freaky, kinky, shit like that. And we're not taking it to that level of physical intimacy yet. And we're like, this is like our second date or whatever, we're still getting to know each other. Like 50-50, I'm fine with that. Because at the end of the day, like, I don't know if I wanna be with you forever. And you don't know me. You know what I mean? Like, when we're investing in people, we're investing time, we're investing money, as
That's
well. Like,
true.
we could be going out every weekend, and I'm spending. You could just be somebody that likes to eat, that wants me to spend all the time. You don't really, you know what I mean? You don't really care about building a relationship. You just know that I'm gonna spoil you and I'm gonna pay, so you're gonna go because you're getting something for free.
Mm, right, but I mean, ultimately, the man has to recognize that that's the type of woman that she is, no,
He,
and not be pendejo and keep going.
well, yeah, I mean, he has to. He has to be attentive to those things. He has to be aware of those things because she's
Yeah,
not gonna articulate it. She's not gonna articulate that. Especially
no.
if
I mean, there are. I
who
know that there
doesn't
are women who do that.
who
I
doesn't
know
like
that.
a free lunch? I mean, who doesn't like a free lunch?
I don't like a free lunch, and I'm going to tell you why. Because to me, if I let you buy me something, that means you want something in return.
So you feel that if a man pays for everything, he has power over you.
Yes, yeah, I do.
I don't agree with that. But
I'm very, and it could be because, you know, business partner and whatnot. But I'm very, let's do everything half and half. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen posted. I totally agree with. If we're gonna go to the movies and he got the tickets, I'll buy the popcorn. Or
mm,
vice versa. We're gonna go out to dinner and I buy it, you leave the tip. That's very fair. Next time around, I leave the tip and you pay for dinner. That I'm totally with it. But for me to sit there and let you pay for everything, that means I'm gonna have to do something at the end of it. Maybe not sex, maybe just a kid. Who knows? Maybe now I, whatever it is. I don't like that.
but you can have women out there that are like, oh, I've done all that, and I still got cheated on, and I still did this, and I still did that, and he still did me dirty. He lied. He did what he was. But like I said, we're hearing one side of the story. There's three sides of the story. His, hers, the truth, and
Hmm.
we barely hear the men complaining about exes and what they've done and stuff like that. So it's like, what brings you to the point where a man is cheating on you? If you're a woman that been in 5 different relationships with different men and they all cheated on you, maybe it's not the man.
You're right.
Or maybe
It's
it's
the
not.
type of man that she's picking, that she's settling for.
It could be
But
her.
that's
It could be her. She could be the problem. She could be a person that is, let me check your phone. Let me interrogate you where you been. Let me nag you. Let me do this. Let me do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just completely not, you know, that's your man. That's your man. That's somebody that you put above all men. He not a fuck boy. He not a nigga. That's not your nigga. That's your king. That's a man that you put above all men. So when shit hits the fan and you get upset or whatever it is, emotional, you could be on your period. Like, that's not his fault. You have a monthly cycle. You could, like, certain women, deal with that differently. They go
yeah.
through PMS or whatever. They take it out on him or whatnot. Like that ain't his fault. You could be that type of woman doing all those things to that man, emasculating him, right? You now displaying the surplus of like masculine energy, and his masculine energy is not vibing with that. Because as men and women, we're born with masculine and feminine energy.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're displaying a surplus of masculine energy, and his masculine energy is not correlating with your masculine energy now. So now he's slowly disconnecting with you.
I mean,
If you don't trust a dude, why are you in that relationship?
I
Because
agree
you
with you
invested
100%.
time, because y'all got kids together, because and
You're comfortable.
I'm just throwing
Yeah.
darts in the dark.
Yeah. You're comfortable.
You're comfortable. You've been, like I said, you invested time. You don't want to start over. You know what I mean? Like, men don't like that. And if you a beta male and you like that, I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for the men that say that this shit should be equal. No man really believes that we on an equal plateau. If that was the case, men and women would be born with the same levels of testosterone.
Okay.
Men and
Yeah,
women,
but go
men
ahead.
and women would be born with the same level of testosterone. God created men and women, and I don't want to get biblical, right? Because the Bible has been written more than once,
Yeah, over and
right?
over.
Over and over. But if you believe in like ancestry, ancient Egyptians, a higher power, God, right? He created these forces, created men and women to be attracted to each other. So if you have high levels of testosterone and mediocre testosterone, like they're gonna gravitate to each other versus they're gonna bump heads. That's why you and I are here. You know what I mean? That's why you and I are here. Yo, even in the Bible, Ephesians 5:22, it says, "Wives, submit to your husband, like you do to the
Mm,
Lord."
yeah, I can't go with what the Bible says. I'm
Well,
not. I'm
I'm
not.
just saying. There's
No, I understand, but that's man. That's man-made. That's a man wrote that, and I don't mean man like a man, but in reality, it was probably a bunch of men sitting, together to write it, because that's how all religions are. It's man-made for the most part.
Mhm,
So that's something that I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, well, the Bible said. The Bible was also written by men, so
mhm. You're right.
I can't go with that. But I think uh, just like that, there are women that are nagging and where were you and why is she looking at you? There are men that do that come across a certain way in the beginning,
Who have
and
tho-
and now
tho-
all of a sudden they're cycles, and
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 those
it's
men and those men are those men may be alpha as far as the physical, right? But emotional, they're beta. They display a surplus of feminine energy. Those men
mm.
are insecure.
So jealousy is just feminine, and
Jealousy is not a feminine trait.
it's a
Possessiveness, and these are my opinions solely. Possessiveness is not a feminine trait.
it's a masculine
Territorial
trait.
is a masculine trait. Territorial is not a feminine trait. So when you meet these women and you start giving them the best dick of their life, now you guys are she's absorbing your energy. She's absorbing your masculine energy. So this is where the transition comes. And now she becomes, yo, he mine, he mine, he mine. Like, you know what I mean? He can't do business with her. Cause I'm jealous with her. He can't look at that chick. He can't talk to her.
Mm,
He's mine, he mine, he mine. Let me check your phone. Let me do this. That's that.
that makes sense,
Mhm.
actually. That makes sense.
You know what I mean? And
Mm.
most women are like that. Most women are like that. Like they could say, not all of them, but most of them are like that. They could say, "Oh, I'm cool with it," in the beginning. They can even say, "Oh, I'm cool
Cool
that
with
you.
what?
I'm cool that you even talk to other girls." But then
Oh,
when
it's
you
okay
get,
for you to have friends that are girls. Yeah.
then when you get to a level of ecstasy, a level of intimacy, and it's just you fuck, her brains out and all this shit. Now it's like,
That can also go both ways. Guys can get strung out too by a girl, and now he's, where are you going? Oh, you're going to the store? You better call me when you get there, or I'm gonna time you. It doesn't take that long. There's guys that happens to. They get strung out. A man and a woman can get strung out on good pussy and good dick. That's just mind over matter, I guess.
Well, I'm like that. I'm like that, but I'm like that naturally. I'm not the type of guy that's like, oh, wait, like, where you going? How long you gonna be? I'm gonna time you. No, I have certain guidelines that is like, that's understood from the beginning. So she's already telling me. She's already telling me these things before I have to ask her.
Right. That's different than what I'm saying. I'm saying they're starting out one way. Now she puts.
All right. So there's a lot of things that we want to talk about, but we didn't get to. So we're gonna have to do a part 2.
That's exciting.
There's just too much pertaining to this topic.
There's a lot. There's a lot of things that we haven't even touched on. It's going to be fun to discuss.
If you're tuning in, like, subscribe, follow us, and